This is the Buick Riviera.
Yo, everybody needs to shut up. You want me to tell you why? Nintendo doesn't give a fuck. Nintendo says we will make a worse product, we will make a worse hardware,
Dog died, cat
we will
died.
make worse games, but we have better creatives. We will have better IPs in-house, and you have to buy our sloppy toppy dog shit, and we don't care what you say. You want to play the game the way you want to play it? Absolutely fucking not. You play the game the way we want you to play it, and that's what we do over here. And you need to at least find some form of internal respect for that, because they have created it and they own it, and they're allowed to market the thing however they want to, man. It's fine, and I think not respect, but at least understand it. You know what I'm saying?
The world's first car with a touchscreen, made back in 1986. The futuristic graphic control center replaced more than 80 physical controls. The graphics were so advanced, the fan icons spun at different speeds, depending on the climate control setting. You could turn the sound system up or down and adjust the balance or graphic equalizer. Trip data had its own screen. There were even electronic gauges.
Touch a new Buick Riviera, and it touches you.
The Riviera was way ahead of its time, maybe too far ahead.
Yeah, too much.
The influential Car and Driver magazine gave it a brutal review. The touchscreen is meant to transform a trip to the 7-Eleven into a space odyssey. But the reality of the graphic control center is a bad joke. It was fiddly, distracting, and way slower than the physical controls it replaced. Customers, it seems, just weren't buying it. Production numbers plummeted. 3 years later, the touchscreen was removed from the Riviera. But the idea wouldn't stay dead.
Remember I was last time about like glasses and shit like that, whatever? Sometimes things actually are too ahead of their time. It happens. Sometimes the consumer is not ready to do something. It's what it is.
Ultimately, touchscreens in cars made a return. This time, they were accompanied by lots of other features that supposedly reinvent driving. High-tech handles that are hard to find and fiddly to use, and all but useless in cold weather.
No, you don't get it. Don't get it. Bad example. Bad example. The Range Rover, when it's unlocked, the handle pulls out by itself. You don't need to do anything.
High-tech handles.
It's not confusing. It's fucking locked. It's not confusing, bum-ass. It's locked.
That are hard to find and fiddly to use, and all but useless in cold weather. Gear shifters that are straight out of Star Wars, but come with a 4-minute explanation video. Many new models have been stripped of their buttons, levers, and knobs. They depend on software updates as much as they do solid engineering. There's evidence that some of these cars aren't just harder to use, they're less safe. And your car might be one of them.
Kind of, but yeah. I'll let him elaborate on that.
And I'm like, I want to return off regenerative braking because you used to be able to, well, maybe not turn it off, but you used to be able to reduce it. And that feature went away, and so I'm going down these steep mountain roads on icy conditions with the car trying to regenerative brake every time I let off the throttle. And I'm like, I turned this thing off, and it wasn't there. Even in the moment, trying to find where in the menu it had gone while you're driving in the snowstorm on a road behind a transport truck, and it's a scary situation to be hunting a menu in the middle of winter.
In this video, we'll
So when you're driving, they tell you not to fiddle like a cuck with your display. They tell you, every time you open your car, and in my car it says it, when you're in your car and you stop fiddling with your shit like a loser. It says it. It says
some of the dumbest features in modern
before
cars,
actually driving.
what it really means that they're packed with sensors, and why certain design elements are downright dangerous. Let's start with the new, the funny, and the just plain weird.
Guys, I'm on an icy road. Guys, I'm on
The marriage of
I'm on
cars
an
and
icy
cutting-edge
road.
tech is nothing new.
Dude, hold on. Sending a message to my wife. Right now, bang! Oh my
Entertainment
god!
systems in
Elon Musk, you fucking bitch. How could you do this to me? How could you make me get into an accident, you fucking bitch? That's crazy.
cars have been constantly advancing since the 1930s. In every era, automakers have embraced the entertainment tech of their time. AM radio, FM radio, tape players, CD players, even record players. But sometime in the early 2000s,
If you're in an icy road, who cares about your regenerative braking? We don't care. It is still superfluous. It is still unneeded information. When you are driving, you have all your attention to the road, okay? And if you have to deal with something important, you pull the fuck over on the next thing you can. Who cares about regenerative braking? It's shit, I get it. You cannot turn it off, you do it later, buddy.
Sides of cars started to change in bold new ways. And in 2012, one particular car
You should have thought about that before. You need to understand how these things work, okay? Guys, if I forgot my fucking, I don't know, my asthma pump when I got into the airplane, I don't go, yo, captain, turn around right now, landform. Yo, listen, you might have to do whatever you gotta do currently with your current situation, right? Or whatever, I'm
changed everything. This is the Tesla Model S. Upon release,
Terrible
it was
analogy.
considered a
Talk it up.
huge leap forward for electric cars. Car and Driver praised its range, acceleration, and top speed. Unusually, the Model S was designed almost entirely around a huge 17-inch touchscreen, about as big as 4 to 6 other touchscreens typically found in cars at the time. It was a sensation.
I think it did drive the revolution to electric cars. It made people think it was possible. I mean, no one ever thought it was possible, really, to have an electric car before that came onto the market.
Tesla jump-started a craze for minimalist, digital-oriented designs in cars. Beyond enthusiasm, touchscreens are also cheaper and more efficient to manufacture than physical controls. And as of 2018, all new cars sold in the US were required to have a rear-facing camera, enabling a driver to detect pedestrians behind their vehicle.
Chat,
This meant new-
can you do voice controls on Tesla? I think that's what it needs. If it doesn't have it, chat, I think it needs it. If the guy could have just went to, yo, Big T, turn on regenerative braking, or remove it, or
Cars had to have a
Can,
screen
okay,
inside
then,
them.
Yeah, then skill issue.
Some experts see a direct link to the rise of touchscreens. Whatever the reasons, the Model S and Tesla's Silicon Valley software-first approach felt unique. The company unveiled new cars like Apple presented new iPhones. Even if Tesla wasn't the first company to include a touchscreen in a car, for many people, the future finally seemed to have arrived. Suddenly, the rest of the industry was playing catch-up.
True.
To avoid
Turn
being
the
left
stream
behind,
volume
companies would
up
have to shift
downscale.
gears. Unfortunately, along with a lot of other things, shifting was about to get really, really confusing.
xQcL.
Congratulations, this is your new 2017 Range Rover Velar.
Oh,
You're going
Oh my god, I bought that. I fucking hate this piece of shit. Oh my god, bro, I bought that when it came out. What a piece of shit, brother. Oh, it is so bad.
To love driving it.
So bad.
But first, you need to get inside. But how? Where are the... There have to be handles.
Such
How
a
else?
horrible take like always.
Maybe they're... No. Okay, no. Are they... No.
I give it
Higher.
to my dad. I don't care.
Higher. Look, you just need a little finesse.
You know what though? You know what you need? You need to have the keys and actually unlock the vehicle. Okay? You need to have the keys, right? And when you go to your vehicle that's yours, you want to go inside of the vehicle, you unlock it. And once you've unlocked it, because it's yours, right? The handle will pull out and it'll stay out until it's locked, and then you could just pull it. It's that simple. If you're looking at a locked handle, you go, I don't know, I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, you're a loser. I mean,
First, press this little button, then the handle pops out. It's not that hard. But you might have to explain the procedure to your passengers. And things could get tricky in the winter.
that's the manual one.
Okay, this will probably take some getting used to, but they're so sophisticated. The Velar is just the tip of the iceberg.
Everybody that lives in ice world like Canada, like where I live, is it still low volume? Really? Guys, even if you live in Canada, chat, guys, this happens regardless of your handle, okay? Actually, you're more likely to fuck your handle up if you don't have this. You wanna know why? Because you think, oh dude, I can put my hand in it and pull it.
Notice me, she
Easy.
knows a
I'm gonna do
man.
that. And you go bonk, and you crash your shit and it breaks. It had always been doing it. It's a problem of ice. That's it.
But they're so sophisticated. The Velar is just the tip of the iceberg. These days, lots of cars have unusual door handles. Some, like the Ford Mustang Mach-E, got rid of handles
too loud, though.
entirely. Instead, there's a button, and they've camouflaged it. The Tesla Cybertruck's button is even better hidden. But back to your new Velar. Inside, you'll notice more oddities. Here's the shifter. As usual, the gears are labeled. But instead of the classic lever-shaped shifter, you use a dial to change gears. The 2017 Mercedes-Benz GLC has a monostable
Vroom.
stock shifter. It's always
Mike
returned to
Lowe?
the center, which can make it tough to tell which gear you are currently in. The GMC Terrain moves shifting to buttons, which you pull rather than push. In its review, the website Motor One called it a complicated solution to a non-existent problem, a description that may or may not apply to many of the innovations in this video.
What about now?
From 2021 to 2023, if you were driving a Volkswagen
Oh wait, you were saying what? Sorry, I guess I wasn't looking.
to a non-existent problem, a description that may or may not apply to many of the innovations in this video. From 2021
Yeah,
to 2023, if you were driving a Volkswagen ID4, you shifted gears with this thing. See it there, hidden behind the steering wheel? You twist it to shift gears. Whether these new designs actually improve on anything is an open question, but they certainly bring the adventure back to driving. In the past, most cars' essential controls tended to look and feel more or less the same.
Brother, you should see the fucking the blinkers on the fucking Lambo. It's a button. It's inside like the steering wheel, and you have to wedge it left or right, and you have to push it in to stop blinking. It's so dog
With new
shit.
features like these, every time you
What
drive a
about the
different
audio?
car, you have to learn how to operate it almost from scratch. But there's confusing, and then there's the Genesis Crystal Sphere. Let's say you ease on into a Genesis EV60.
Am I still low?
You want to
Really?
back out of your parking spot. Wait, there's no shifter, just this little crystal ball. According to Genesis, it helps create an emotional connection between the driver and the vehicle.
Chad said low.
So slow down. Take a minute. Can you feel it?
Am I better now?
You start the car by pressing the brake and pressing this button. Like magic, the crystal sphere rotates, revealing the shift dial. Inside, there's a mood light. Shift into reverse by twisting the dial to the left. The dial vibrates, but nothing's wrong. No, that's the sweet vibration of safety. The mood light changes color too, putting you in a safety mood. You can't feel it? Okay, you know what? Let's take a step back. Try putting the car in neutral. With it still turned
Oh,
off, press the
dude.
start button twice, but don't hold down the brake
Any
pedal.
car these days.
No, don't hold down the brake. Okay, try again. Without holding down the brake pedal, press the start button twice. Good, now you're in IG on mode. Remove the cap next to the crystal sphere. Well, there should be a cap there. Okay, skip the cap. Press that button, the one next to the crystal sphere. Good, good. Now you're in neutral. The touchscreen tells you so. The sphere rotates. There's
Chad, the reality is, I feel like these days there's not a lot of uses. People don't go to neutral these days that much. They either park their car when they start it, it's neutral, and then they go to drive. But like people don't go to neutral that much these days. There's
shift
no-
dial so you can.
Hey X,
Oh,
I've been on
but you're
and off
already in
subbing
neutral.
to you since
Why would? You know what? Never mind.
Hello, neutral.
If you don't get it, you're clearly not alone.
When you fix it,
Genesis created a nearly 4-minute video to explain how to use the crystal sphere. Of course, cars have had weird shifters before, but these days it seems to be the shifter Wild West. By 2017, things had gotten so crazy, car
oh my god, these are so
But
these
can I
are
get a
so
welcome to the
bad.
jungle?
driver published an
Please.
article, Why are so many new cars
xQc
gear selectors so stupid? And naturally, it doesn't end there.
Chat, you know you was talking about the Velar. The Velar has this like little cuck knob. It's a little knob in front, with a little square, and you have to. It is an
According to
actual
Wired,
cuck knob.
97% of new cars released after 2023 have at least one screen inside them. In some, physical controls for many essential functions
What's the worst
have disappeared
car you've
entirely.
ever had?
In the past, you typically open a glove compartment by pulling a handle. These days, if you own a Tesla, you have to use the touchscreen.
Well, you got to go, there's a little car button, and it brings up a menu, and then I think it's usually the default, the top menu thing has these grid of various buttons and things you can do, and then you go to the glove box, and then
I think the
that'll
visuals
open
are bad,
box, and then you can enter a security code if you want, and then you have to hit a 4-digit pin to unlock the glove box.
But you still have to close the glove compartment manually. As modern cars become increasingly
Can you make it so that there's no code or not?
tech-based, some manufacturers have explored treating them more like software by selling upgrades or subscriptions. In 2022, BMW announced that
Leave
certain
it up to
features of its
xQc
cars
to
would be
defend
available only by
multi-billion-dollar
subscription.
companies on the
To use their
most
cars' heated
indefensible
seats, for
shit
example,
possible.
British customers had to pay £15 a month. By late 2023, BMW had dropped the idea due to low customer interest. A much better deal is a subscription to Brilliant, the online platform for really learning about serious topics and off an annual. In many ways, modern
That's
cars have come to
awful.
feel like smartphones on wheels. They're packed with infotainment options, but hidden inside them is a major downside most drivers aren't aware of.
What is that?
Many modern cars have advanced features that rely on huge amounts of data from the surrounding environment.
Yeah.
Your car is a kind of data hoover, really, hoovering up everything. And what you'd hope is that data is being used to improve things all the time.
This is Professor Dale Harrow. He's chair of the Intelligent Mobility Design Center and head of the Intelligent Mobility Design program at the Royal College of Art in London.
You know, I know Tesla do a lot of this, where they're looking at kind of how people use the car and all that data about road conditions, road surfaces. So you could have a car that's talking to another car that says, I've just gone over a terrible pothole. And the car behind says, oh no, I'm coming up to it. Now I'll avoid that, you know. So it could be very good, all this sort of stuff.
True.
But some cars don't just collect data about driving conditions. They collect data about you,
Sure.
how you move, your speech, even your facial expressions.
Fair enough.
Back in 2023, the Mozilla Foundation, a pro-privacy, tech-focused nonprofit, researched 25 different car brands to examine their approach to driver data and privacy in the US. Of the 25 brands, the foundation concluded that pretty much all of them collected more data than necessary to make their products work smoothly.
Yeah, that's
And in
bad.
their privacy agreements, most brands reserve the right to share drivers' personal data and sell it.
Bro, it's not that I'm a cuck for tech companies. It's not really like that, right? Is that there is a lot of valid data to be used to make the experience better and make the product better, right? And if it's superfluous, then fuck them. And I'll go against that, right? But in general, like a lot of information is very useful.
According to Mozilla, that data went way beyond name, address, and phone number. It could also include your age, birthday, and the location of your phone, your credit card number and information about how you financed and bought your car, products or services you've bought, products or services you've considered buying, your ID number, your social security number, your passport number, health status, signature, the shape of your face, fingerprints, your gait, genetic characteristics, race, religion, and philosophical beliefs, employment information, whether you belong to a union, nationality,
Dude,
immigration status,
chat,
photos.
Chat, if you think about chat, this is a data gold mine though. Like, oh, I don't mean to be a glazer, but imagine if you could really profile what humans do and like the traits that they have and how it makes them drive and everything. Like you could really like
Location
use
history,
the data.
recordings of your voice,
No.
and the gestures you make. And at least
You
two
could really
companies, Nissan and
understand the
Kia,
human, like,
explicitly claim
to
the
a
right to
higher
collect
level.
information about customers' sex lives. We don't know whether companies do collect all this information, but in their privacy policies, the automakers Mozilla studied reserve.
Chat, imagine you go to the next one, okay, and you do an insurance claim, and they say, well, what Tesla says is when you use these keywords, right, you're usually about 70% more angry. So you were driving in ways that actually matches when you're angry. So it was pretty much your fault, dumb fuck. Yo,
the right to
I'm
do
just saying
so.
it's crazy.
There's also no way of knowing exactly how your car might collect data
That's kind of
about
where
your
we're at
sex
right now.
life. But a look around a modern car suggests some ways that it could. First, there's your phone. If you connect it to your car, either over Bluetooth or by plugging it in, you're potentially offering up an enormous treasure trove of data. Some cars store your contact list. Some keep a log of your phone calls. Then there's the cameras and sensors that make many of the
Wait, am I
driver
still
assist
quiet?
features in
There's
modern
no
cars
shot.
possible, including automatic lane centering, adaptive cruise control,
Guys.
and partial self-driving. Like many cars, the Tesla Model Y uses cameras and sensors to gather real-time data from in and around the car's
What
surroundings.
compressor? No compressor.
Here's one
Hello?
camera
Hello?
mounted above the rear license plate. Here are two more, one in each door pillar. There are three in the windshield, right above the rearview mirror, and one in each front fender. Depending on your model, there's also one inside the car,
This should be
right
better
above
now.
the rearview mirror.
This would be better now.
Tesla says its cameras are designed from the ground up to protect your privacy. But in 2023, 9 former Tesla employees told Reuters that images and video taken from customers' cars have been repeatedly shared around the Tesla office between 2019 and 2022.
Wait.
But in 2023, 9 former Tesla employees told Reuters that images and video taken from customers' cars have been repeatedly shared around the Tesla office between 2019 and 2022. These reportedly included
Was that actually debunked or not? Was it debunked or not? True or false?
mundane images employees turned into intra-office memes, video of
apparently
road
a
rage
lot of people saying
incidents and
debunked.
crashes, including one of a Tesla hitting a child on a bike, and footage that was clearly private and even embarrassing, apparently including a man approaching the car, totally naked. According to one ex-employee, some of these recordings seem to have been made by cars that weren't even turned on, showing off whatever weird stuff customers happen to have in their garages. According to Reuters several years ago, Tesla employees stumbled upon footage of Wet Nelly, the submersible vehicle from the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me, dry docked in a Tesla owner's garage. In this case, the owner was Elon Musk. He may or may not have been aware his collectible was being recorded. According to Reuters, Tesla collected video recordings from vehicles that were turned off only with the owner's consent, but has long since stopped doing so. And Tesla does let drivers opt out of their vehicle collecting data, but there's a cost. This might lead to, quote, reduced functionality, serious damage, or inoperability. Oh, and Nissan's privacy policy makes you promise to inform any passenger.
Oh, come on, bro. You should be able to opt out of giving data, but receiving better data packages or like things that use data of other people to make your experience better. If you opt out of making other people's experience better, you bought the product, you should still be able to gain the advantage of making your product better. That's perfectly fair enough. You bought the product.
About the features and limitations of your car system and services, including Nissan's data collection terms. Pinky swear you'll do it, and be sure to print out the whole policy for the next time you give a friend a lift. None of the car companies Mozilla dealt with would disclose exactly who they share driver data with, and some policies are very broad. Your data could be used for marketing purposes, or an insurance company could raise your rates based on data about you driving.
That's crazy.
And without you ever knowing, your most sensitive information could be shared with the government or law enforcement. Hyundai's policy specifies that it will comply with lawful requests, whether formal or informal. These practices vary according to region. In the United States, for example, they seem to essentially be legal. In Europe, the law requires that companies offer specific justifications for processing consumers' data, but the effectiveness of those laws relies on compliance. Evidence suggests that companies still collect huge amounts of driver data, and that data may not always be securely stored. In the end, Mozilla came to the conclusion that of all the tech they ever reviewed, cars were the worst data collectors.
We never had a category where we couldn't find something good that we could recommend to somebody to choose over something bad.
And since the study was published, it's not clear much has changed. But it isn't just about your car, and who knows who else, knowing your sexual preferences. Some modern features are just plain dangerous. This is Kwajalein Mountain Pass, near Vancouver, Canada. And this is Quinn Duffy. He owns a 2022 Tesla Model Y, which he drives over the pass on trips to the interior of British Columbia. He told us about his experiences.
It's a high mountain pass, frequently has terrible weather, fog, heavy snow.
These situations need your full attention, but in snowy conditions, the Model Y's automatic high beams can blind the driver, and turning them off while driving can be a nightmare.
And the automatic headlights keep coming on. They'll disable when they sense a car in front. So on occasion they would shut off if we were coming up behind a big truck or something. But you have to go into, this big screen, you have to go into car functions,
That's dog shit. If a feature is like game changing and it's automatic as it turns on, it should be a big thing, disengaged. And it should be a massive thing and you go, okay, boom, off, done, too easy. Things that happen without your consent that are massive should be readily available to be turned off if there's a problem.
To go into headlights or lighting, you have to try and find the high beams or the automatic headlights to try and disable these things. And
No, automatic headlights, if they're high beams, it's bad. Guys, high beams are terrible when there's terrain problems, fog, or there's particles. High beams are shit because it looks like you're looking at a canvas. Now every piece of thing is now on your canvas. You can't see anything in front, buddy. That's why you need to use low ones for the fog and shit, bro.
To get my wife beside me to, I'm trying to talk her through the screens to find these options because I'm trying to concentrate on driving while being blinded by these high beams in heavy snow and fog. If I'm trying to do that myself, to screen, there's no physical button, there's no muscle memory, there's no haptic feedback. So you're trying to watch the options on a low contrast screen that you can't touch because the car's bumpy and your fingers bouncing around. These buttons.
The graphic showed a woman in front though. Can she just not ask, hey honey, can you fidget with the bullshit and find this feature please?
They're small, there's a lot of really frustrating design features when they're trying to pack so much software and so much control.
Oh, he said I was listening.
Into a screen, into multiple menus.
I
think it's potentially dangerous, right?
Duffy is a game designer, and he's no stranger to technology, and even automotive professionals have struggled with the innovations in new cars. In 2024, Kelly Funkhauser took the Rivian S1, an electric SUV, out for a test drive.
Garbage.
When traffic started to slow, she checked that adaptive cruise control, which automatically keeps the car a certain distance from any vehicles in front of it, was turned off. That required quickly flicking the shifter next to the steering wheel upward. But Funkhauser held that gesture slightly too long, a couple of seconds. Suddenly, the SUV shifted into reverse and began backing up towards the vehicles behind her. Kelly Funkhauser is the Associate Director of Vehicle Technology at Consumer Reports, and she test drives cars for a living. Yet even she couldn't avoid the usability hiccups that come with rapidly changing car design. Luckily, Funkhauser's experience was just a near miss.
Guys,
In June,
you guys know it's a skill issue. You're trying to press the brake, but electric cars can go backwards as fast as they want to go forward. I'm pretty sure, right? And a car like that, when it goes backwards, buddy, like it goes from stationary to into the obstacle like fucking instantly. It's not same as a propulsion or fucking.
2016, the actor Anton Yelchin, who played Mr. Chekhov in the 2009 film reboot of Star Trek, parked his Jeep Grand Cherokee on a steep hill outside his home in Studio City, California.
The gas? Oh yeah, it was
the
only
Jeep was
creep.
one of 1.1 million vehicles that Fiat Chrysler had recalled months before. This was due to the monostable shifter, which always returned to the center position. That could make it difficult to tell what gear was selected. As Yelchin walked towards his home, the Jeep rolled backwards and hit him, crushing him against a brick pillar and security.
Wait, Jack, cars still have that. Guys, cars still have that. The Volant still has that, no? With the cuck knob?
Fence. There's no proof that the Jeep's monostable shifter was responsible for Yelchin's death. While his parents filed a wrongful death case against Fiat Chrysler, it was later settled out of court. But a week later, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration concluded its investigation into the shifters, and it seemed to reveal a worrying pattern. 686 complaints, 266 crashes or fires, and 68 associated injuries. Since the early 70s, the general trend in the US has been a decline in motor vehicle deaths, but around 2011, they began climbing again. In 2023 alone, there were 45,000 motor vehicle deaths. That's roughly the population of an entire town. Professor David Strayer of the University of Utah, who has studied infotainment systems and driver...
Wait, why? Is this not confusing?
Town. Professor David Strayer of the University of Utah, who has studied infotainment systems and driver distraction, said this.
Something's going on that's actually making our roads less safe. And it corresponds with increased prevalence of cell phones and touch screens and all the electronics in the vehicle.
In 2020, the British road safety charity I Am Road Smart commissioned a study on the impact of Apple CarPlay on driver reaction times. On a closed course, 2 groups of 20 drivers were asked to perform touchscreen tasks while driving. One group used Apple CarPlay, the other one Android Auto. It found that while using either voice or...
Guys, if speeding is a big drive and cops are doing like mega arrests for like, you know, like obviously traffic stops for like speeding or whatever, then phones should be 10x. Like they should make it an example and make phones like way harsher on fines. Like if you get stopped for your phone, bro, it should be a big drawback. Like, come on, bro.
Touch controls. Drivers had a much harder time staying in their lane
Quebec
and
it's pretty bad, I
maintaining
know.
a consistent distance from vehicles in front of them. When something appeared on the road ahead, they reacted over 50% more slowly than usual. When drivers selected music on Spotify using touch controls, their reaction times were even worse than in previous studies of texting while driving. Ultimately, compared to previous studies conducted by TLR, using either system slowed drivers' reaction times more than being at the legal limit for alcohol or...
Drink drive limit, 12%. CarPlay, oh man. Yeah, most people on CarPlay are probably fascinated by how fucking dog shit the fucking CarPlay features are always.
Cannabis. In 2022, a Swedish car magazine compared 11 new touchscreen-equipped cars to a 17-year-old Volvo with old-school physical controls. While driving 110 kilometers per hour, drivers performed simple tasks, like adjusting climate control or changing the radio station. The outcome was unambiguous. Drivers performed the task far faster using physical controls. It took them just 10 seconds, and during that time, the car traveled 306 meters. At the other end of the spectrum, using the touchscreen controls took 44.6 seconds in the worst-performing car. During that time, it traveled 1,372 meters. In other words, the driver was distracted by the touchscreen for almost a mile. The weird door handles in modern cars may also be a safety concern.
And you have an accident, for example, and the firemen or the policemen come by and they have to get you out of the car. There's nothing to grab. You know, how are you going to open the car? You have to bust the glass and all that.
This is Frank Stephenson, Chief Creative Officer.
How are you going to open the car? You have to bust the glass and all that.
This is Frank.
Dude, these are cool, man. Very nice.
Frank Stephenson, Chief Creative Officer at Frank Stephenson Design,
Mate,
and one of the most
wanna...
influential living car designers.
Typically, door handles were also used to, you know, they'd put their foot up against the car,
my favorite car,
stick their hand on the door handle and just pull it. That's the first reaction to do with the door handle. When we went away with that, and we're starting to go now with normal flush door handles, you have to...
Okay, this is the goat.
More drastic measures to open the door.
But there are signs that some of these trends are finally reversing.
Yeah, it'll get better.
In March 2024, the European New Car Assessment Program, or NCAP, announced big changes to its safety ratings. Beginning in 2026, cars won't be able to earn a 5-star rating unless they contain physical switches for specific functions. That includes the horn, turn signals, hazard lights, and windshield wipers. NCAP isn't a governmental body, but it's an influential non-profit backed by several EU governments. Big car companies like Volvo, BMW, and Tesla all advertise their NCAP safety ratings. Many cars have essentially become phones on wheels.
A lot of cars also, some of these computers are shit, and over time they become like, I don't know, like maybe cluttered or buggy, and a lot of it becomes laggy and it's 10 times worse. Like physical features are
and this
definitely
appealed
needed.
to some drivers, at least in the showroom. But then the rubber hit the road.
My Ferrari shit is
In
not
March
usable anymore. It's so
2024,
laggy.
What Car magazine published a survey of 1,428 drivers. It found that almost 9 out of 10 preferred physical controls to touchscreens. 60% even said they'd be deterred from buying a new car built around a touchscreen. This survey is not a representative large-scale study, but it still raises a question. If the newfangled features in so many cars have potentially made roads less safe and many drivers don't seem to like them, are they truly innovations?
You know, it's just like, oh, come on. So that kind of is what I'm thinking. Is this just a gimmick? Because gimmick design is, do you need it? Does it help you? That's the first basic, you know, and does it improve, you know, everything?
In other words, is a
gimmick,
magic
yeah.
orb of emotional connection really worth it? There's a cost to these dubious innovations. Literally. The affordable mid-price car seems to be going extinct, at least in the US.
Chad, think about it. Would you like your iPhone if you didn't have your physical home button? Your physical like thing? Dude, this button, the fact that it's physical is such a big fucking deal. I would hate it if it was like something you slide your finger over. Like, the only thing that I found that can replace possibly a physical button is what you have on the Steam Deck. When you rub the pad, it does a vibration side and it actually works. If you do this and you went drrr, that would actually do pretty good.
Yes.
Aptic.
In February 2025,
yeah,
the share of new cars purchased costing less than $25,000 was less than 5%,
You rub
down
it.
more than 18% from just
Brother,
6 years before.
even when I'm not playing the
That's
game,
the price
I
range
rub
favored
it.
by many middle-class and first-time buyers. But there are fewer of those on the market these days, giving car companies an excuse to raise prices on those that remain. And profit margins are higher on tricked-out, high-priced vehicles anyway. So many dealers
Dude, Chad, you guys see that? The cuck
and
knob?
profit margins are higher on tricked-out, high-priced
Look at that cuck knob. Brother, you could sit on that. Look at it. That shit is so trash.
vehicles anyway. So many dealers prioritize keeping those in stock, not budget vehicles. If this higher price point is more attractive for sellers, could all these innovative bells and whistles be another way of nudging consumers in that direction? In markets where large numbers of people need to take out a loan to buy a car, like the US, that's a serious issue. But amid all the gloom and doom, there is some good news. When Honda released its 2017 CR-V, it made a change to the infotainment system.
CR-V
The
based it.
physical volume knob was back, replacing what at least one reviewer called an infuriating touch slider.
Dude, chat, everybody loves a good knob that you can turn. Everybody loves that.
BMW ditched gesture control, whereby drivers could make flicking or spinning
Yo,
gestures
turn
to
that shit up,
control
DJ.
touchscreen functions, but not many apparently wanted to.
Ew.
And a year after NCAP rolled out its new safety standards, Volkswagen's head of design announced that VW would be bringing back buttons in all future models. Min's comments even seem to indicate a change in mindset. We will never ever make this mistake anymore. On the steering wheel, we will have physical buttons. No guessing anymore. There's feedback, it's real, and people love this. Honestly, it's a car. It's not a phone, it's a car. So maybe automakers have learned their lesson this time, or maybe we'll be asking the same questions in another 40 years.
But the questions
Yeah.
arise. Is the CR
Also, like I said, when it lags, it all lags. That's a problem though. Like it's why like shit like blinkers or whatever that are if you click the thing, it just sends a signal and it blinks. That's good. But when your shit starts to lag, okay, I'll finish the video.
RT really necessary? And is there a built-in danger of looking away from the road while you're trying to use it?
The microwave it. Chad, this guy,
The newfangled
Drastic measure.
just he made the P1. Look at this car. I love this car. This is my favorite car by far. By far. No, the GTR instead. The GTR is better. Oof!
I've seen other streamers doing this mic test. It tests the 8 different types of I trust me. Skull content, for example. You have to come up with ideas on how to survive on an island with 3 random items plus trial ink.
Thanks for the $200. I appreciate it, man. Mozzie, yes, check that if it's like some legit thing or what. Chat, look at it.
$1,000. In addition, they offered a package that allowed P1 GTR owners to convert their cars to street legal for a cost of around $700,000, in addition to the cost of the car. So today I'm going to review 100 horsepower. So this thing is just shy of 1,000 horsepower. More important stuff there. It's off to the side and it's yellow, and when you press it, it sounds an exposed wire running back from it and into the camera receiver, the system.
This is not comfy.
That does not look
awful,
very luxurious.
but it's
Speaking
cool.
of exposed stuff, behind the seats you can
Wait,
see
is he gonna drive it?
there's just a bunch of
I
exposed
want to hear the sound.
electronics. In any other car, they would cover this up with a panel to make it look nice, but not in the GTR. On the other side,
it's a race car, so I'm saying
you
it.
push
It's not
this little
comfy.
button, pop it open, and there's your charge port. These little panels that are sort of hinged. Value of this car, I am terrified. First thing you notice,
so cool though.
It's loud in here. Loud.
Chat, it's counterintuitive because like these cars, they're race cars, but nobody uses them for racing. There's not enough that are made. Like you would need too many spare parts. Nobody races that shit. Like nobody. This shit's a fucking work of art, dude.
Loud. So race car, they're always insanely loud. They remove all sorts of sound deadening. Pretty much anything for comfort is gone. And so we have the noise. The next thing you notice is unbelievably rough riding. I mean, this is as serious.
Yeah, that shit's so expensive though. Oh, what is that? Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at in here. Miles driven per one accident. Tesla vehicles using autopilot. Million miles driven per before accident occurs. Jesus Christ. 6 million miles per accident? Dude, 7 million? That's crazy. That is actually crazy. And then Tesla not using autopilot. Jesus. The reality is, let me tell you something, okay? This is how I see the world, and you don't have to agree. But if you are a locked-in driver and you like to lock in or whatever, right? And you're distracted Andy, and you're autopilot, whatever, dude, this is a zero. Like, let's give it a buck. Like, near a zero for sure. When I drive, I'm locked the fuck in. I'm always locked in. Like, the problem is that everybody says, "Oh yeah, I'm a great driver." It doesn't matter. If you're a distracted driver, you're a trash driver. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Kissing a pole.
6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6. All right. Anyway. 2 more victims of LED headlights. Yo, make them illegal. I've been saying this for years. Make LED headlights illegal. Illegalize it. This shit is lame. Lame.
Can you keep digging in your butt? Start doing that, Twin. Freddy Fazbear is digging in a butt, Twin, because you know he's the ringleader, so you know he has to. Oh shit! Oh my God! Oh shit! Because you know he's the ringleader, so you know he has to. Oh shit! Oh my God!
Okay, so clean your windshield. We can't see shit. Even the camera can't see shit. This is disgusting. Okay. Yes, headlights will fuck up when there's smudges. Okay, but yeah, these headlights are way worse for that.
Twin, can you keep digging in your butt? Start doing that, Twin. Is digging in a butt, Twin, because you know he's.
Yeah, this is awful, dude. These lights are awful.
The ringleader, so you know he has to.
Dude,
oh shit! Oh my God!
Chat, in Florida, there's like the express lanes or whatever, right? Dude, if you're in the express lanes on the left, and there's a little bit of a barrier on the highway, the headlights of the oncoming traffic on the opposite side, if they have LED lights, brother, you are blind. Brother, you're like this. You can't do shit. It's gonna be illegal. Jesus. I hate it. Dog was, guys, what is one? They're not even high beams. They're the normal ones.